Herzlich willkommen zur 37. Edition des DOK.fest München. Schön, dass Sie da sind. Vielleicht auch endlich wieder physisch, weil 2 Jahre lang waren wir nur online und jetzt gibt es die erste duale Edition des DOK.fest, was bedeutet, wir haben uns einfach die besten Dinge unserer Online-Edition aufgehoben, zum Beispiel die digitalen Filmgespräche, die Sie auf unserer Website sehen können und abrufen können über eine längere Zeit und ab Montag, dem 9. Mai. Genau. Mein Name ist Julia Teichmann. Ich habe früher für das DOK.fest programmiert. Jetzt bin ich bei einer Firma, die heißt German Films und die vermarktet deutsche Filme im Ausland. Der Film, über den wir jetzt sprechen werden, heißt No Place for You in Our Town. Und weil meine Gäste Englisch sprechen, weil das Interview oder das Gespräch auf Englisch stattfinden wird, switche ich jetzt auf Englisch. Welcome, Ralitsa Golemanova and Nikolay Stefanov. Nikolay Stefanov is the director of the film. Ralitsa is the producer, but she's like was involved in the creative process of the film from the beginning on. We will hear about that more. Maybe we start with this. So welcome first, hello. And maybe this could be a good question for a start. How did this work, like working together, finding the place, finding the protagonists, and getting in touch with this world, which is not yours, I suppose?
Yes, hi everyone. It is kind of my world because this is my hometown and I know some of these people for more than 30 years. And yeah, that's
To zoom out a bit, we started making documentaries together in 2015, and this is our first feature-length documentary. So it's Nikolay's and mine as well, where we work with different topics, but the main focus we want to have in the films we create is on topics that create a social debate. So it's very important for us to create films that are engaging on this level, not only to have artistic value, but also to create discussions around important social issues. So actually, Nikolay came up with this idea because he's from this town, obviously, but also we discussed it a lot and we decided that it's important to make a film like that. And not only because it's about football and it can be interesting for some people, but because there are many different social layers in it that we want to bring attention to.
Yeah, and it was some kind of returning to my hometown. Yeah.
Nikolay, can you tell us a bit about what your story of your upbringing was? At which age did you leave this town? Have you been a football fan either?
I left it 20 years ago, my hometown. I haven't been a football fan, like a proper one, but when I was a teenager, of course, I was going to the stadium, and that's how I met some of the characters of the film. Yeah, but other than that, I'm a cinematographer, also the cinematographer of the film. And what else?
Yeah. So Nikolay, you knew the place already. How was it for you, Ralitsa, to go there? And also, well, I can trade out now that you're a couple, so to go back to the place where Nikolay grew up and with the plan to shoot a film there? Or you met the place and the people before?
It was a very interesting journey for me, of course, to enter this personal space of Nikolay. Of course, for the actual shooting, it was him being a one-man show, because this was the best way to shoot a film like that. It can be felt in the way that it's shot and in the way that it represents the situations, that it's one person who is there with the group, and you can really feel a part of what's going on. So I was staying a bit more on the side of this process, and I think this worked out very well for the stylistic and the whole visual experience for the viewer. But yeah, on a personal level, if you're asking me as a part of the couple, this was indeed an emotional journey as well, to see Nikolay going through this process and to be next to him, supporting him in creating this film.
Yeah, but for me it was very important to become somehow like part of the gang, like part of this community, and I think I achieved this I achieved this, and that helped me to make the film like it is now.
How did you do this, become part of this community, with having left at the age of 15, and having led another life since then? I mean,
yeah, for these people, the fact that I'm local was really crucial. That made them to trust me, and yes, of course, I spent more than 2 years with them, and it was, let's say, a long process of gaining mutual trust. Yeah.
With observational films, I think this is really key, to be in the situations and not only to be like the person asking the questions from the outside.
Yes, and the time you spend with your characters with no camera is also very important.
Have they seen the film so far? I guess so, right?
Let's say the main characters, they saw it. Five of them, or were they six of them? And it was important for me to show them the film, because I'm showing their life on the screen, so it wouldn't be fair if they wouldn't watch it.
I'm also interested in, I mean, it's a film also about manlyhood and how it's celebrated and staged in a way, and also transferred to the sons, right? So it's a film very much about men, but we have this one woman sort of in this motherly woman sort of in this community. How was it, Ralitsa, for you as a woman to enter this company of men? How have you been, did they accept you? How was it?
As said, the process of shooting, it was Nikolay in this manly world, but for me it was very exciting to discover from the footage, to discover the character of the lady, who is indeed an extraordinary person, and she's really like the mother of the group, and we eventually met in person also. So I can speak about me working on a very, very male film, and this was very interesting, because I've grown up with these ideas about how women should fight for that we should fight for our rights, and that we really have a difficult time, and that's perfectly true. But at the same time, I had never thought about the norms that a man nowadays has to fit in, and all the pressure from community, from the general ideas about what masculinity means, how they're affecting men today. So for me, this was really like a great insight into this world, and I was very happy still that there is this woman, and that we see this contrast between the sexes within the film also. The approach is very different, and not in a way to judge one or the other, but to see how society and we are shaped by society to fit into certain models of behavior.
Yeah, but for me, the women in the crew were very important because they helped me to make this film more soft in a way and more understandable. Because if there were no Ralitsa and the other screenwriter, it might be more harsh, the film. Yeah, they helped me a lot, especially Ralitsa.
No, it adds a human dimension, but it's also the scenes with the father and son scenes, let's say, with camping in the forest and catching frogs. This is also adding up to the soft side of the film, I would say, and the soft side of your main character, Tsetso, right?
Tsetso, yeah.
Tsetso. And well, maybe we talk shortly about your main character, Tsetso. Did you know him since childhood then? Was he?
No, I met him at the stadium. I didn't know Tsetso from long time, let's say. But somehow we developed, let's say, interesting relationships. He trusted me a lot. I'm not sure why, but yeah, the guy was, as you can see, he was very open to share his personal life. Yeah,
it was really, I mean, it was very precious that he opened up in front of Nikolay's camera, and I think for me the favorite parts in the film are exactly the father and son scenes where he's very vulnerable and where you see also his relationship with his son, and you see how, talking about masculinity and norms, you see how when we are children we are so moldable, we can go any way, and then things happen in life and we go in one or the other way, and we make certain choices. So I think this is also going back to the historical context of the city and the mining background and so on. This we really wanted to connect all of this in this narrative about what's passed on from generation to generation.
You called it, I mean, it's an observational film. You were talking about this before, but you also used this archival material. I want to set up the context of the film, right? To put it in this minor city context. Maybe you can tell me a bit about how you found a style for the film, or how the style found you.
We were finding the style of the film in process. It was not like I want to make this film. I didn't have the complete idea from the very beginning how it will look at the end, because filmmaking, documentary filmmaking, especially if you make an observational film, it's for me it's an open process, and you start shooting, and the film starts to live its own life in a way. So I was trying to be as much as I can, as open as I can during the whole shooting and the editing process afterwards. Yeah, I didn't want to somehow to put borders in my mind how it should be and where it should go.
So in a way, the archive material, it was like an organic process.
Yeah, I wanted to use it to use archival footage from the very beginning, but yeah.
But the way it turned out was really like, and also we dug a lot in the archive here, in the National Film Archive and the archive of the National Television to find the right segments, because actually there's not so much of it.
Yeah, I was surprised that there is not much, because nowadays we are filming everything around us and there is plenty of footage, but back in the days it was Apparently, more mainly propaganda depended either the communist or the previous regime in Bulgaria. Sorry, I interrupted.
And I also think it's it's important to mention that we were part of this rough cut program, DOK Rough Cut Boutique. And this was also a great way to get, during the process of final editing of the rough cut, to get insights from other people. And especially for the archive, this was quite beneficial, like a test run of your audience.
As I mentioned before, you're a couple too, so you're working together really closely on your projects, and you're living together. So how do you do this without getting into major fights?
Who says that we are not getting in a major fight?
I suppose. I hope.
We do not.
It's a part of the creative process, I think. It's sometimes it's very challenging because it's 11 p.m. and Nikolay wants to talk about a film idea, and I just want to drink a beer and relax. So I think for me this is the most challenging, to put a stop to the work when you're sharing everything with somebody. It can be tricky.
For me, it was, and it's still difficult to put this stop. Because
when you have an office.
It's constantly in my mind, and it's not easy to stop.
But you have clear roles there, like you're the cinematographer, you're the director, you're the producer, so this is kind of separated. It's probably...
Yeah, I think we're focusing on writing the projects together. So the concept, of course, the idea for this film and for our next project is completely Nikolay's. But from then on, we are writing them together, and then he's shooting and directing, and I'm producing. But also, creative producing probably is.
Definitely creative producing. And Ralitsa, I hope in the near future, she wants to direct a film. So. I'll be glad to help her.
I have a cinematographer already.
What's your next project going to be?
It's, in a way, my hometown story.
Again?
Again, but it's more personal. It's about my father.
Okay.
And it's called Making Friends with the Idea of a Father. It's a very personal story. I'm not sure that I'm ready to share it right now. What is it about?
We're in very early development with it, and I'm taking part in the Eurodoc program with it to develop it throughout this year. But in the gist of it is like the story is set against the background of the early 90s in Bulgaria, so just after the communist regime fell. And then I'm not gonna spoil it because it's very particular, but something happened to Nikolay's father in this particular time, which spurred a lot of things, which corresponded to what was happening there back then here, which was a very particular time. And then also there is the personal story, which again is about fathers and sons in a way.
Yeah, it is a lot about fathers and sons. And I want to dig in my past and my subconscious.
So it was the use of archival material again, right? In a way.
There will be.
There will be for sure, for setting this context. But then really the story will. It's gonna be from the POV of Nikolay, so it's gonna be very different in terms of style and feel, and a bit more abstract.
A real crime happened back then, and I will try to dig into it as well. And the style of the film, it will be very mixed, as it is in the previous.
Maybe for the last question, back to No Place for You in Our Town. Are you still in contact with your protagonist, with Tsetso? I guess Are you traveling back from time to time? Are you
Yeah,
in
yeah,
touch? How is he? How are they? How is his son?
They're good. Of course, I'm traveling to my hometown very often because it's 30 kilometers away of the
Okay.
Sofia, yeah, which is not so far away. He's doing well. He has his issues because the life he lives is not, let's say, the usual life. But yeah, the son is still this cute boy, even though he's a teenager right now. But he still has this very childish behavior, which is, yeah,
It's
very
endearing
Yeah.
to see. But in general, I think the community there will be quite involved in autumn when the Bulgarian premiere is going to be, and the film is a co-production with HBO Max, so it's going on the platform in autumn, and along with that, we want to make screenings in Pernik, so to bring back the film back to where it has started. So in a way, this, I think it's also a nice way for them to get, to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, but the local people, or the people of Pernik, are very excited about this film. They want to watch it, and
So-
they constantly ask me, when are we gonna watch this film? Yeah.
1 week after you started shooting,
Yes.
the question was when the film will be ready.
Are you excited about this too? Are you excited about this too?
Yes.
Because it's, I mean, you will get their reactions, right? And
Yeah, it will be very, really, maybe this will be the most important audience for me, because this is my hometown, these are my fellow citizens. I grew up with these people, so yeah, it will be very exciting and important for me, their reaction. The main characters who saw it, they liked it, and they
you said
stand,
so.
yeah, and they stand behind this film, so that's important.
Just a last note, maybe it's for the international audience, it's worth noting that Pernik is very well known in Bulgaria as this place of very tough guys.
Okay.
And of course, this is a cliche that the media is constantly reproducing, and there are a lot of jokes about the town. So in a way, when you say the name of Pernik, everybody has 10 jokes in their head about how you're going to get beaten up when you go there.
Yeah, and I have to listen to this constantly when I met someone.
Yeah, but yeah, we wanted to go beyond the cliche with this film, and we hope that it's going to be well received by the Bulgarian audience.
Yes, you succeeded. I mean, for my part. Yes. Well, thank you for this conversation. Thank you for your film. I wish you a good Bulgarian premiere and, of course, an international journey with the film. Maybe as last words, I don't know if I forgot to mention this. It's the German premiere here of the film, and it's nominated for the Kino Audience Award, which is donated by BR, Bayerischer Rundfunk, and Dreisat, and all our audience can decide which film wins in the end. So can also vote for your film, of course.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you it was really nice conversation, and we are really glad to be on your festival, guys.
Yes, hope to see you in person next time.
Hopefully.
Yeah, project from both sides of you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.